Hey, college football fans, what up? It's the one and only Cole Thompson here, and Hugh Freeze's name is ringing, just not on the cell phones of Oxford. No, recently he did an interview with WJOX in Birmingham and talked about how he couldn't bring himself to spend $1 million on a quarterback. And of course, naturally, that ruffled a lot of feathers. It pissed off some people, especially down on the plains, because of what happened with quarterback play last year. But to be fair, Freeze might have a point on what he's talking about. And I figured today, let's actually break down that comment and talk about why this doesn't mean Auburn is dead in the water for 2024. But if you're new here, welcome on into the channel. Make sure that you like the video, hit the comment section. Tell me your thoughts. Should Hugh Freeze have gone out and added in anybody else other than just Payton Thorne? And hit subscribe, people, because we're talking college football every single day leading up to week 1 and well throughout the chaotic 2024 season. Make sure that you're following me on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Mr. Cole Thompson, because I'm going to talk college football over there, and I want to expand my community. You can follow me on Reddit, too. I have no idea what my name is, though. Also, make sure you tell your friends, family, mortal enemies, best of bros, SEC faithful, anybody out on the plains, really anybody that wears the blue and yellow or screams War Eagle about this channel, because we're on the race to become the #1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport. And I might be an Alabama grad, but I am a very unbiased person when it comes to sports. Auburn said that they weren't going to spend $1 million. Strike that. Reverse that. Hugh Freeze said Auburn wasn't going to spend $1 million on a quarterback. The exact quote to Cole Kubelik and to Greg McElroy, the options that you were presented with: develop Payton, of course, meaning Payton Thorne; develop Holden, meaning Holden Greener; develop Hank Brown; and develop Walker White, or go spend $1 million on this guy. I just couldn't bring myself in doing that because I want to put all the pieces together. Well, quarterback play was absolutely dreadful in the Plains last year. You could say that it was slower than molasses on a cold winter's night. That is how bad it was. Payton Thorne threw for under 65% of his throws. He didn't even reach 2,000 passing yards. There were times that you turned to Robbie Ashford because you just couldn't see this team get it done. And now there was trepidation. I included. Said, I believe Auburn needs to go get a quarterback. Thought it would need to be the right quarterback. And therein is the reason. So you look at the names that were on the portal period this second wave. Who stood out? Can you go back and actually tell me who really stood out that you trusted was going to come in right away, worth $1 million, and immediately change the persona and change the attitude and the aura of what Auburn football is going to be in 2024? Was it Ja'Cory Brown? You mean a guy that really hasn't seen the field? Was it going to be, sorry about that, one more? Was it going to be Sam Hurd from Cal Poly? Man, the guy had better numbers, but he also had better numbers in basically an FCS conference. Was it going to be probably another quarterback that maybe just didn't think about entering? Yeah, you could have done that, but you didn't have to. Here's the bottom line. Regardless of what your level of play is at QB, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to go ahead and bring in somebody on an NIL deal. It is. Payton Thorne is not that great of a quarterback. We know where his limitations are. We know where his positives are. We know where his strengths are. We know where his weaknesses are. He's still making nearly $1 million. So $1 million for an average quarterback is going to be the asking price. And everyone's going to be a little bit different when it comes to this. But why spend $1 million on an average quarterback when you have 3 quarterbacks that you really have no idea what they could be, and 1 quarterback that at least you have seen, when with the right pieces around him, can be successful? Oh, yeah, they added in some pieces this offseason at Auburn. See, I'm an Alabama grad. I don't really care. I'm going to call it a buck. They added in one of the best wide receivers I have ever seen coming out of high school in Cam Coleman. They have not had a 1,000-yard pass catcher in Auburn, Alabama since before Y2K happened. There have been every single movie made of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The entire Twilight series was started, and a bunch of other nonsensical crap that just goes on in pop culture was created since the last time an Auburn Tiger reached 4 digits next to their production name. And he could be the first. And even if he's not the first, well, there's another guy that's going to come in and be a very effective number 2. That's Keandre Lambert-Smith out of Penn State. This is somebody who has played that secondary option, and he's got good speed. He's got great fluidity. He's good when it comes to getting in and out of breaks. He fits the mold of what you want in a secondary piece. And I think he knows going down to Auburn, yeah, I want to be paid and properly compensated, and I want to get the ball a lot because I wasn't getting it in state college. But I'm okay with playing that secondary role as long as it leads to better results. They were close last year. A lot of people want to go ahead and look at Auburn's schedule, and everyone wants to look at the record and say, well, they went 6-7, and they found a way to get absolutely drugged by Maryland. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they also went down to the wire with Georgia and nearly got that win. They also went down to the wire with Alabama. The other team that went to Atlanta nearly got that win. 4th and 31 happened. Hate to break it to you, Auburn fans. That's just the fact and the reality of the situation. They played close in 3 other games, and they only lost, I think, 5 games total by less than 3 touchdowns. And that was with insufficient quarterback play, with a new offense that no longer is going to be run because Philip Montgomery is now elsewhere, with a new defense that's going to be led by DJ Jerkin, and a certain bourgeoisie and consistency led by Hugh Freeze. And you upgraded. You upgrade at wide receiver. You still feel really good about your tight end room with Ronaldo Fairweather. I think that he is basically a cyborg that you can work the middle of the field. He opens up the outside because you got to put so much attention to him on the inside. You still got a run game. Doesn't that sound a little familiar if you know anything about Payton Thorne? Oh, wait, yeah, that happened in 2021 when Thorne led Michigan State to a Peach Bowl victory over Pitt. Yeah, that year, because he had a number 1 1,000-yard receiver in Jaden Reed. He had a complimentary piece in Jalen Naylor. He had a good tight end. He had Keon Coleman as a true freshman. Great running game headlined by Doak Walker Award, Kenneth Walker. Good overall play execution with an offensive personnel that fit his system. So it can work. And here's the other thing. What if it doesn't work? Well, you have 3 guys that are now in the building that have been throughout spring training, that have been throughout camp, that feel like that they are a team that could come in and immediately upgrade this offense. Well, when you add in a quarterback that probably has yet to play meaningful reps and cost you $1 million, you know what you're telling the other 3? Hey, we told you that this was going to be a good competition just so you wouldn't leave, and we don't think that you're good enough. We don't think that you're ready, and we want to win now. And Auburn, I hate to break it to you, Auburn's going to be a dark horse team. They're definitely, I think, going to get some wins that are probably not there. I use this term all the time, coin flip teams, where it could easily be 1 or 2 plays that determine if it lands on heads and you walk away with the win, or tails and you're dragging yours between your legs. Auburn is probably, in my opinion, in the SEC this year, the most coin flip team out there because I don't really know what to make of them. I could see them go 7-5. I could see them go 10-2. I think that they probably go around 9-3 and they get multiple wins over prominent programs. But I don't know where Auburn is right now. But they're definitely not playing for a college football playoff this year. I think they're a year away. They're still establishing a culture. They just finished with the top 10 recruiting class. They just finished with the top 15 transfer portal class. They're doing things a certain way, and it's working underneath Freeze. It is. You may not see the fruits of your labor in year 1 like you saw in Washington with Kalen DeBoer. You may not see the actual results unfold the way that it happened in Eugene with Dan Lanning. You may not see those type of emulates happen, but Mike Norvell was on the hot seat going into his 3rd year at Tallahassee with Florida State. And what's he do? Well, now he's lost 3 games during the regular season. No, my bad. 2 games during the regular season and 1 bowl game in the last 2 years. Yeah, he's doing something right. So be patient. This is a good Auburn team. And by the way, Auburn fans out there, let's have a little talk real fast. You want to know what's going on with your program all the time. You want to hear what's happening behind closed doors. You want to know what your coach is thinking and what goes into his game plan. You can't be mad when you don't get the answer you want. It's like dealing with somebody who thinks that this is supposed to be the way it gets done, and then step 4 is skipped over for step 5, and they immediately go, no, the plan's entirely ruined. We got to start all the way back at the bottom. Don't do that. Do you want to have the backing? Do you want to have the support? Do you want to know the no's and the ins and the outs of what's going on with your program? Or do you want to be kept in the dark and just be surprised? Because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be upset that Payton Thorne, who, whether or not we agree, is a stable quarterback in the SEC, is the favorite to win the job because Hugh Freeze thinks that the best version of him is by putting pieces around him, and then complain that, oh, well, your coach is just not trying. Your coach, he's just not caring enough. He is. Because let me ask you, you add in a $1 million quarterback, do you land Keandre Lambert-Smith? So now you're throwing a Cam Coleman and name X wide receiver here that probably isn't ready to take on that type of persona. But instead, you spend money elsewhere, you spend it wisely, and lo and behold, 2 games that probably would have made you go 7-5 put you in the running for 9-3 or 10-2. And 10-2 is good enough to at least be looking at that radar. 11, 12, 13, just missed the cut for the college football playoff. And that could be Auburn. That absolutely could be Auburn. I'm not saying that Payton Thorne is the right answer. What I'm saying is, you want to know what's going on with your program. You can't complain about it 5 minutes later because it's not going your way. Auburn is the toughest job in college football. I have made this clear as much as possible. Auburn is a great job. It is a wonderful job. It is in a great location. I'm supposed to hate Auburn because of where my loyalty is. I don't. I love the city. I think it's a fantastic location. I think it's a beautiful landscape and a wonderful campus. It's arguably one of the best in the SEC. But I also know that you have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. And I also know that if you are patient, good things will happen. Sometimes also the best dish of the entire meal is not the main course. It may be one of the appetizers. It may be one of the sides. It may be the dessert. Well, consider Keandre Lambert-Smith, Cam Coleman, and a bunch of other names that you brought in over the transfer portal and young up-and-coming talent as those pieces. The main course may have a little bit of rawness to it, or it may be overdone. But you know what? You enjoy the meal because of the rest of the pieces that go alongside it. I can't really be mad at Hugh Freeze. If it's not the right quarterback, I'm not spending that type of money. I'd rather use those resources elsewhere to better my team for this season and well beyond. And I feel like that's what he's doing. Hugh Freeze, I don't think said anything wrong. I don't think Brian Kelly said anything wrong either. If you watch the other video, you already know I don't think that. But you look at these two, it's very evident that you feel like whether or not they're ready to trust Payton Thorne entirely, you still have 3 other quarterbacks in the wing, and each one of them has a better supporting cast than last year. And lo and behold, Hugh Freeze doesn't care. And you want to know what? At the end of the day, if he doesn't care and it's good enough for him, it should be good enough for most fans. Because he's going to have to pay the piper when all comes either crashing down or he's going to be able to eat his cake and go ahead and read a bunch of comments on Twitter saying, oh, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot with 10-plus wins. Have a nice day, War Damn Eagle. But let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Hugh Freeze's comments? Was he out of line? Should he add it in the quarterback? Do you trust that Payton Thorne can be the guy? Make sure that you like, hit subscribe, hit the ring notification. That way you don't miss a single episode of Just Saying It. And follow me on social media, people, at Mr. Cole Thompson. I'm everywhere. It's the exact same as my YouTube handle. So hit subscribe here, hit follow over there. Make sure you tell your friends, family, mortal enemies, best of bros, and of course, everyone on the plains of Auburn about this channel because I want to be the #1 college football community on top of being the #1 college football YouTube show. Until next time, Auburn fans, until next time, college football faithful, I am Cole Thompson. Take it easy.